Hey everybody, and welcome back to KG Financial LLR. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. You might have found me via my Facebook page or something. I don't know. If you're not in my group, make sure you join it. I am your LLR budget guru. That is what I want to be in life. I am a financial coach, but I also was a retailer for a short amount of time, for 3 years. I learned a whole lot, and in that time I just found that there were so many people who were curious about wanting to know more about their budget, how to make sure that they're actually making profit, and actually like how to run a business, because a lot of us came from different fields of life and then saw this opportunity, this great opportunity, and decided to jump on board. And then when it came time to actually doing the business finances type of thing, we kind of got a little off track. Like we don't really know what we're doing. And so that's why I decided that I would start a financial coaching course, coaching job program for LLR people, but also this YouTube channel. So stay tuned if you want to hear more tips, tricks, budget hacks about your household budget, but also for your LLR budget. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about profit. We're going to be talking about how to stretch your profit with LLR, because this is the thing that normally happens. When we get a new box in, we're excited to start selling it. We're excited to sell the mess out of it. And if we have people selling, or if we have people buying at full price, that's awesome. But most of the time, what will happen is that we might have moments where we're not able to sell out of the whole box, or we feel like we are like, oh no, we're not selling, and then we get panicky, and then we're like, okay, well, I guess I just have to mark down the box, or I need to have some deals to go with it. And I know there's tons of posts around here which I think are amazing in different groups that talk about the life of a box. So if you are interested in those things and you want more information about that, make sure that you go to your team pages, make sure you talk to your upline, you make sure you go to my Facebook page if you want to, and I can have some information there about the life of a box. So these are some things that kind of keep you and hold you accountable to making sure that, one, you're not marking down, because marking down takes away from your profit. Two, that you're actually using that money and using your time appropriately, and you're getting correct things that your clients actually want, correct IPAs that your clients actually want to actually get the profit that you're looking for. So make sure that you look at that life of a box post. There's tons of posts on like different ways that you can schedule. And also, don't be so married to one thing, right? If going live has always been the thing that's gotten you your cash, that's gotten you results, that's great. But every day is going to be completely different. So don't be married to one strategy. Be willing to be flexible and try any and everything. Okay. Today what we're going to do is, when we talk about profit, I'm going to actually take some ideas, some notes that I actually got from Rachel Hollis Coaching. So if you have not used Rachel Hollis Coaching, her coaching from last year, I think her husband's doing it now, but last year she did all of the coaching, and every single month she talked about a different subject that had to do with businesses. One of the things that she really talked about often was about profit, and about how we're eating into our own profit by doing the most silliest things that we all do, but there are different ways that we need to come around it. So I've kind of taken some ideas from her and what I've heard in her business coaching that has really helped my business, but also making sure that I am implementing it and sharing it with you guys, okay? So first off, find opportunities to cut costs, okay? To cut costs in your business. We love to shower our clients with so many things. We say, oh, get extra 50% off. We love to say things like, you get extra Lula cash in your package. You get extra, you get percentages off, or we might just give goodies. Like we might add fun stuff in the bag that we have. I mean, I know that there are people all over the place that are like painstakingly like searching for the perfect gift to give to their clientele, and that's fine. That's great. I think it's a wonderful idea to do things like that. But those are some types of things that can really cut into our profit, because when we're doing that over and over and over again, we're creating a pattern, right? Which I understand it might go with your brand, but when you're doing it every single time, you really have to weigh it out and actually spread out the math and go, what is this actually doing to my profit? Every time that I sell one item, if I'm giving them something that's actually $2.50, how is that affecting my profit? Is it worth it to do that? Maybe I could say, you know what, instead I will only give them a freebie, or I will only give them something extra if they order 2 things or 3 things or order a certain price point. Then I will add an extra goodie or extra percentages off or whatever to their package. That way you're getting volume and you're still getting more profit. And so although you're still taking out that chunk, it doesn't hit as hard as if you were just doing it for one item. I hope that makes sense. Another thing that's really important about profit and making sure that you're not cutting into your profit is to make sure that you plan your profit from your box. Every time you order, every time you have an idea of like, okay, I really want to make sure that I am selling Irma's today, for example, or I'm selling perfect tees today, or I'm selling leggings today, know your profit margins. Most of our profit margins are really good. We actually get about close to 50% for every single item. But the things that get cut into them are shipping, which you guys already know. Shipping is a bear, shipping is expensive. There's not much you can do about that. That's one of those necessary evils that we have to take care of. So if we know that shipping is going to be something that is going to eat into our profit, don't make it worse by adding all these other things on top of it, right? So when you do free shipping, make sure that you understand what that's actually doing to your profit. Is it worth it, okay? I'm not saying that it's not a bad thing to do every now and then, but when you offer free shipping, you do want to make sure that you understand what is happening. Like, how is that going to affect the profit that you're bringing in? Make sure when you get your box, when you order your box, you know, okay, I paid this much for it. This is how much I could get for it if I sold all of it, right? Which most of the time we're probably going to not sell about 100%. We're going to sell maybe 60%, maybe 70% of our box. You need to know exactly how much you need to purchase or how much you need to sell in order to make back what you purchased, right? So that's like to break even. And then that's the point when you start to break profit, or actually bring in profit, which is great. We want to make sure that we are constantly making profit and are over that break even point. So make sure that you can do the math and actually sit down before the box comes in, kind of have an idea of like what you're going to do, what IPAs you're going to do along with that box to make sure that you can get to that goal of getting that money back and then that goal of making profit. And if you're choosing to add goodies or things like that to your group or to your packages, make sure you have a plan for that too. Like if someone orders 2 or 3 things, this is what I will add. This is how that affects my profit for that specific package. If any of this sounds super confusing, it is okay. I do have a coaching course that is specifically for LuLaRoe retailers. It's amazing. I really think it's really great. It's constantly evolving. I also have my LuLaRoe accountability group that you're welcome to join and ask extra questions about this. But it's really intensive and I offer one-on-one coaching so that I can help you specifically understand how this works in your business. Another thing is to stack IPAs. And I know that you've heard that a billion times before, so I'm not going to go into deep detail about it. But basically the overall thing is to make sure that if you have like several IPAs, for example, 5 at 5, outfits, wall drops, going live, those types of things, stack them. Don't just do one IPA and for the day and that's it. Make sure that you have several going on throughout the day, so that your group can actually see that things are happening. Now, remember that takes time out of your day, so make sure that you're thinking about what are you willing to do when that box comes in to make sure that you're prepared and ready to go. Also, pre-sales are a really smart way to get some extra cash in the door before it comes in. I love doing pre-sales. That was one of my favorite things to do whenever I got a box. I was like, who wants something? And again, you can also make it very lucrative by making sure that you're saying, hey, if you're ordering 2 or 3 or something like that, you can get percentages or you can get extra goodies. But again, make sure that you know what's happening to your profit. The worst thing that you can do is just not be informed. The worst thing that I hear is for people saying, hey, I don't understand, like I got this box in, but then I don't know where my money's going. And then I'm like, well, did you plan it out? Like, did you think it through? And if you don't, you're going to be blindsided and go, wait, how much money did I even make today? Because you did all of this extra percentages off and extra things. So here's the question that I always ask, or that I always get asked all the time too. Like, that's great. I really would love to stretch my profit, but Kim, how do I even make profit? Like, how do I even like make sure that I'm actually making the profit? I highly suggest that people do not use their My Funds card for anything except business expenses. And I would even limit that business expenses to wholesale purchases, warehouse purchases, and maybe shipping, maybe. But like limit it to those 3 things and that's it. Because that way you know exactly what's happening and how things are moving. When you start swiping that card for other things like coffee and going to Chick-fil-A because you're doing a business dinner or whatever, or you were traveling somewhere, it gets all convoluted and mixed up. I do have another video if you're interested in how to work my spreadsheet. The video is going to be right here. I'm going to try this out and see if this works right here. And you can actually check that out and you can actually see a different video about how I use my spreadsheet. But where I got the idea for my spreadsheet is actually from Profit First. by Mike Michalowicz, okay? If you haven't read the book, definitely read it. It's a great read. But one of the things that they talk about is as soon as you make profit, you need to go ahead and divvy it up. Because what happens is we always leave ourselves out of the equation. We take the idea of, oh, I need to make sure I have all of my shipping. I need to make sure I have all of my merchandise that I'm going to sell. I need to make sure that I have all of the goodies that I'm going to give to my clientele, and then whatever's left at the end is when I'll pay myself. That is not the correct way that we should be thinking about our business, because that's how we get into the habit of saying, oh, I don't have money left over. You put yourself first. You are the business owner, and you want to make sure that you are being paid and compensated for the time and effort that you're putting in your business. So make sure that you're paying yourself first. So every time there is, and I have, and again in that video I explain as well, that you can actually every week, every day, whatever it is, you need to make sure you're transferring money out so that you can actually start to pay yourself. Even if it's $5, even if it's $6, $20, I don't care. You need to get yourself into a habit of paying yourself first, and you'll notice that you'll start to build up, and you'll actually see that you have cash there in a separate bank account that you're like, wow, I actually have money that's mine. I don't have to worry about that. Along with that, I have several sinking funds in my personal business. So one of them is my business account where I pay myself from, and the other one also I transfer money into the expense accounts. So that's where I use shipping. That's where I spend money on other things of that nature. That's where I spend money on merchandise for my clients. That's where I make sure I start saving up money so that when I want to get something really big for a holiday, or when I want to give them an extra amount of money for something, that's where that money is going to come out of, and it's not taking away from my profit. So those are my things, okay? So I think that's pretty much it of how we can stretch our profit. That's where we can start. If you can start making sure that you're allocating funds every time, it could be every 2 days, 3 days, if you're allocating funds for your business to making sure that are going to certain accounts, that's going to help big time with making sure that you're actually paying yourself and actually have money set aside for the things that you want to give to your clients. Business cards, if you want to give them candy, if you want to give them any of those types of things, you're going to work within that budget that you've allocated, and it's not going to come out of your profit. Another way to work on your profit is to make sure that you are finding your profit exactly that you're going to get from the box. Make sure you know when that box comes in, you know exactly, you can put a dollar sign on, this is how much this is worth profit-wise. This is how much I will be able to make from this box, and use that as motivation to really do 100% out of that box. Stack and bundle and save. Use those types of tactics with your clients so that you can make sure that you're getting more bang for your buck. You're actually getting more profit out of it, so that you're not getting, you're not losing profit out of just that one item. You're going to bundle so that your volume of profit is different, and so although it's still taking some out, it's not going to be as detrimental as if it was a smaller amount. And also make sure you find opportunities to cut costs. Finding opportunity, you don't need a lot to start your business. You don't need a lot to keep your business going. I think that's something that we see other people do and assume that it's going to take a lot of overhead, but it doesn't take a lot of overhead if you're smart about it. Work within your budget. Make sure you're getting things that you absolutely need, and that's pretty much it. So I really hope that helped you guys. I really hope that gave you something to think about, something to chew on. If you need more information, like I said, resources, all that good stuff, make sure you check below. Make sure you check out my video on spreadsheets. That's going to be super helpful with understanding how to allocate your funds. And I know that you're going to say, Kim, it's $1 every time I transfer out of my funds. I'd rather that dollar be there. I'd rather pay that dollar and know that I'm paying myself than have it all sitting in one place and going, what the heck, where is all my money going? So definitely keep that in mind when you're thinking about that. I hope you guys have a really great day. I hope your business is fantastic and it flourishes amazingly, and I hope you make a lot of profit. See you guys later.